Let me ask you something. What kind of person decides to build a big business in a town of 500 people? And not just build it, but build it in a place where busy season is basically the same season that you're supposed to be soaking up our precious summers with our kids. Today's guest did exactly that. Kalin Sheick is the founder of Sweetwater Floral in northern Michigan. And what she's built is way bigger than flowers. It's a lifestyle brand, a community, a movement. And it's eventually led her to a personal brand, a podcast, and a message that hits every mom who's ever tried to grow a business and still feel like herself. But here's the twist. The biggest growth in her business didn't come from doing more, it came from letting go. A near life-changing moment forced her to release control, which ultimately led to the biggest success in her business. In this episode, we talk about slow growth in a fast world, comparison, seasonalities to business, the white knuckle grip that so much of us do as we can try to control our businesses, and what it really means to bloom, which stands for building life out of moments. If you're building a business and you're tired of feeling behind, if your identity is tangled up in what you do, or you want success, but you also want to enjoy your life and your business while you're doing it, you're going to love my interview with Kalin. Welcome to Main Street Success Stories. I'm your host, Jennifer Koch, entrepreneur, business coach, and founder of Next Wave Business Coaching. My first business I opened 2 days before giving birth to my second daughter. But then I grew it for 20 years. I grew it from a local bakery into a national brand and eventually sold it for a profit. I know firsthand how tough the odds can be. Only 1 out of 2 small businesses make it to year 5. That's why I'm passionate about helping entrepreneurs change those statistics through coaching, mentoring, and this podcast, where I share real stories of others, their success, their struggle, their mindset shifts, their fears, and lots of wins along the way. Because none of us are alone in this journey of entrepreneurship, and I want to make sure that you have the support you need. My goal is simple: to inspire you, motivate you, and show you there's a path to building a profitable business. So let's dive into the next episode of Main Street Success Stories. Kalin, I am so happy to have you on the show today.
Jennifer, I feel like you have the patience of a saint because I feel like we've been trying to make this happen for over a year, and finally it is happening because my schedule is a mess. Thank you.
Well, that just goes to show life of an entrepreneur. You know, we are
Yes.
doing a lot of things, and you are one busy girl. So first of all, for those that are not familiar with your story, tell us about your business that you own and where your business is located and all the fun things.
Yeah, so I'm Kalin Sheick. I'm based here in northern Michigan in Wallen Lake Petoskey area. My business has been based up here for the last 11 years, and I'm the owner and founder of a company called Sweetwater. So we are a flower-focused lifestyle brand. We own and operate a full-service florist shop, so a regular old-school flower shop. So birthdays, anniversaries, weddings. We kind of cut our teeth designing wedding flowers for people. And then from there, very kind of organically and naturally, we spun off into me teaching workshops. So I travel the country teaching floral design workshops to groups. And then now I do speaking and have a podcast, and I've launched a personal brand off of the business. And my goal is to inspire women to really just like bring more joy to their lives and design like lives that they truly enjoy living. And I'm really big on like you can have a life that feels fulfilling and big and special without having to burn down your life to the ground right now. I feel like that's a message that really got popular for a while. And that's a little bit about me.
Well, that is a lot about you in one sentence, because really, girl, you are building an empire. And
Thank you.
let's kind of deep dive into this, because for those that aren't familiar with northern Michigan, you know, you're a Michigander, I'm a Michigander. We love it, except for today when we're recording, it's like negative 12 degrees or something ridiculous.
Yes.
You are in northern Michigan, small town. Like what's the population of your town?
So where our shop is, Walden Lake has a year-round population of less than 500 people.
So
And then
500 people.
Yes. It is so remote. And then Petoskey, where I live with my family, just 6 miles up the road, there's less than 5,000 year-round residents. So it is very, very, very small and very remote.
And very seasonal. I know in Michigan, summers are a huge tourist time for us. So we get lots of people influx up there. So your numbers probably, who knows what they do? They probably triple, double, quadruple.
Oh, yeah. We make like 75% of our revenue in 20 weeks of the year. So
okay, so that is That's an interesting statistic because that packs a lot of pressure into typically a season when, as a mom, you probably want to be home hanging out with your kids.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be the struggle it'll be the thing I'm continually working on for the next 20 years of my life is how do I have a summer and be with my kids and then also know that that's kind of go time for us. And our family motto is like, there's go time and there's slow time. And we chose a life that our go time is during summer. But right now, during January and February and March, we really can get that maximum family time.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so take me back to the day when you're like, you know what? I want to start a floral business in a town of 500 people. First of all, it's really hard to start a business. It takes courage, it takes guts. What did that business plan look like? What were you hoping to achieve at that point?
I often say I had no business starting a business. If you've ever heard me speak, I talk often about this. I was working as a television reporter and I wanted to have kind of like similar to many entrepreneurs, control over my earnings and control over my fluidity in life. And I knew I wanted to be a mom one day and I knew I wanted to be able to be a certain version of a mom. And I just could kind of see the writing on the wall that television news was not it for me. I wasn't going to be able to have that life that I wanted to design for myself. The business started with me just working out of our basement and very slow growth. I'm talking like painstakingly slow growth. I was a one woman show for a couple of years. Then I had like one helper come in and it's been really, really slow from there. We didn't open a retail location till we were 6.5 years into business ownership, 7 years. So I feel like oftentimes when we're being swept up into business ownership or we're trying to improve a business we already have, I mean, you know this better than everyone. I'm sure you like hear from women all day who are in this, like you feel like there's this need to have more and do more. And like, I'm going to open a shop, I'm going to hire a team, and really, I feel like the secret to our Sweetwater success is how slow and intentional the growth was.
You must have had a lot of patience because you're right. That is something I hear a lot, especially in today's world. Our expectations a lot of times are not very realistic. I talked to a business owner just the other day. She's a year and a half in. Numbers are looking good. They're solid. They're on the right track. And she feels like she's behind. And so, how did
It's
you keep yourself rooted in that? That's hard.
I love that. Rooted is my word for 2026.
Oh, look at that. A little
I
floral
feel a
reference,
little,
right?
yeah, a little like a little wink. It feels to me like we are so caught up in what everyone else is doing,
Mhm.
honestly. And
Amen.
we are so concerned with what everyone else is going to think and what it's going to look like to everyone else. And when really it's like the numbers don't lie. And so it's like if your business is solid and doing well, you should feel a lot of strength and rest in that, and that the growth will come. My patience, I always say, is non existent, but there was something about business ownership where I did it really and have continued to do it really slowly and responsibly. And I owe a lot of that to my husband, who works full time in the business with me now. His name is Matt. He's our business manager now. When I started, he was working full time in his career in education. He was an athletic administrator and he had worked so hard for that career, but he always really took it very seriously that we didn't get the business into financial trouble from the jump. And I don't think he ever imagined what this would become, but not comparing yourself to others is, I think, the strongest skill set you can have in business ownership. Because if you're so concerned with what everyone else is doing, it will feel like a slog. It will feel like everything is a letdown and it will feel like an endless comparison game.
Oh, I love it. Preach it, preach it. Okay, so you're in this chug, and like you said, growing slow turned out to be the best gift ever. And at what point did you decide then it was time for a retail presence? What came next?
Yeah, so we decided to open a retail space because I was really tired and finding a lot of frustration and losing our team every year. The seasonality of our business had us only having employees kind of like May 1st through Halloween. And I started to fall in love with our team and how talented they all are. And it felt really unfair to say, like, hey guys, okay, we're done for the year and have a great winter. And please come back in the spring. I'd love to have you, but I can't pay you this winter. And I decided that, we kind of had a spot that opened that felt right. And it made sense for us to retain these amazing, talented people who work with us. So we opened the retail space not because opening a flower shop was ever a dream of mine. But having this rock solid team, I knew that for us to grow and for me to get more out of the day-to-day operations as our family kept growing, I needed to have like a rock solid team in place. And so was it risky? Yes, but it was a risk I was willing to take. And it was really, again, like a measured risk for us.
Wow, I applaud you for having the courage to do that and the
Thank
risk to do
you.
that, and you obviously have vision.
Thank you. I
Would you
think
call yourself
I've
a visionary?
Yes, being a visionary is my favorite part of the job. Like, if I could I mean, I have, like, 5,000 ideas right now that we're working on and that may or may not come to fruition, but the dreaming and the vision casting of it all is why I feel like truly I was called to be an entrepreneur. If it wasn't flowers, it would be something else. Everyone always wants to know, like, "Oh my gosh, your connection to flowers." My connection to flowers is just, like, I've always loved them, and that's what I loved the most in the moment I started a business. But I think the vision I have for us involves this team, and because I could not do everything we're doing as a one-woman show any longer. Like, it has gone beyond that. I'd be lying if I didn't say that there are days, particularly in the last, like, quarter, we had a really hard year, and just being like, "Should I go back to being a one-woman show?" And everything was so much more simple. So
Right.
I often say to people when I speak, like, if you are able to be profitable and make a living and it's just you from your kitchen table, that is incredible. That is like such an incredible thing you have built. And I don't want people to rush past that phase because like more money, more problems. Like it's just the headaches
It's
just get
the
a little
truth.
bigger.
I always said the best business to own is one without employees. And it's not to take
Literally.
anything away from our team. We all love our team members, but like you said, it just is more layers and more decisions
It
and
is, and you
more,
feel really responsible.
yeah,
Like,
a bigger
this is no
responsibility.
longer just about me creating
Hmm.
a business to replace my TV income. Like, there's 5 of us full time. People have mortgages and rent to pay
Yeah,
and families, and it's a big decision.
sure. Okay, so you found yourself at a place of opening the retail space. And what was kind of your big pivotal breakthrough? Like, when do you feel like all of a sudden you're like, holy cow, Matt, we got something here?
I think one of my toxic habits is I still don't feel like we have something some days. Some days I'm like, such an Enneagram 3 to my core where I'm like, I need to achieve more and do more. And I've actually been doing a lot of work this year and like being stabilized and like healing that part of me that feels like they need to do more. It feels to me like when Matt and I have been able to, in the last 2 or 3 years, be with our family and raise our kids together and the business is still going. Like getting myself out of the day to day for small little pockets of the year has really shown me that what we've built is really special and it's really impactful to people. And then being able to see our team kind of just like thrive in their roles and grow in their roles has really been eye opening for me. But I always say there's been like 3 huge moments, like when I was able to have Matt come on full time so we could work together was a huge deal,
Sure.
humongous deal for us. And then when we opened the shop, and I remember the first day we flipped the sign on and people showed up. I was like, oh my God, maybe we're onto something. I remember
Right.
Ellis on our team. She was like, you guys think this is going to work? Because like there was like people just coming in the door. And I was like, oh my God, it worked. So it's still so hard, but it's still so, so fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so now you have this Sweetwater business that, like you said, is operating so well. I mean, it's not owner dependent so much anymore, which is a huge win in itself. What came next for you? You now do so many other things. It's like the
Yeah.
Sweetwater is a piece of the revenue, but I love how this is kind of your platform. It's become your platform for a lot of messages.
It has. I felt really strongly after I was finished having kids that there was so much more to life than what your business turns out to be. And that I had developed a really strong community online of women who were very often in the same phase of life I am in, which is like we're raising little kids and it's a crazy season in life. And it's one that's filled with so much joy and it's so demanding. And I realized that I had put so much of my self worth into the business, like what the business was doing, how successful the business was. I just kinda decided to, like, create on a personal level a little bit like I had been creating in the business. So I started, like, a personal account on Instagram, and I started writing there, and then decided to launch a podcast, and then I was teaching workshops under the Kalin Sheick brand and realized that I really loved it. And that also, from a business perspective, they go really hand in hand together because when people are exposed to the Kalin Sheick, like the personal brand, maybe they see me speak somewhere. It all is so, what's the word I'm thinking of? It's on the tip of my tongue. Like when someone sees me speak downstate and then they come up north for their weekend vacation with their family, they come to the shop because they want to see it. And so
They get to know
it was,
you. Yeah.
yes, yes, it was really like fulfilling in a way that they had found the personal brand first and wanted to come and support the shop. So yeah, now the Kale and Chic brand, I've been doing a lot of speaking and traveling and just all the things that I love to do and just kind of encouraging women on that side of things a little more. And the flower business has been a really good gateway for that. And then it's a really good thing for people to be exposed to through that work I'm doing.
That's really, you hit on something really powerful about our businesses are our self worth.
Mhm.
And I feel like they become our identity. I mean, for 20 years,
Mhm.
I was the cookie lady.
Yeah.
And I can remember when I sold my business, I owned it for 20 years and I sold it. And I had a handful of people come up to me and said to me, be really careful. You're going to struggle after you sell your business because your identity is the cookie lady.
Mhm.
And I thought, I never set out to be the cookie lady. I didn't even like to bake. I
Yeah.
just liked to sample and, I was quality control, I called it all the time. And, they were right in a way because that's how we position ourselves. I mean, you think about half the people you meet, what your day to day looks like, it's all
Mhm.
revolved around your business. And I always say, that business and personal life intertwine. It's not corporate where at 5 o'clock we go home and,
Yes.
sometimes we might have to answer an email or something, but that's, we go home and that's it. Business, you're thinking about it in the shower. You're thinking about it when you're walking your
Mhm.
dog, when you're driving to carpool. And so I find that really interesting for you that you recognize that early on where a lot of people don't until it's too late. And then you decided, what else can I do with this? Like, you kind of launch this personal brand, and that way if Sweetwater ever sells or somebody else takes over, you still carry on.
That's kind of the plan, honestly, is that I realized that, we went back and forth so much about like, can Sweetwater be Sweetwater without me being the face of it and in the day to day? And we still have these discussions here. Feel like anyone who owns a business, when you are known as like the cookie lady or the girl who does flowers or the lady whispering on her Instagram stories every morning, like so much of your identity becomes your brand. And I say this all the time, but like at the end of our days, when you're 100 years old and you're surrounded by all the people that love you, you will not, no one's going to talk about how cool the business is that you built. Like it's just not going to happen. Like that is not what our families are going to remember us by. That's not what our kids are going to remember us by. Like my kids do not care. And it is so humbling. They see me on TV, on magazine covers, on all these planes, taking these trips. They could not care any less. And I love that. I don't want their childhood or their version of me to be all consumed by this business we built. I have always looked at the business as its own living, breathing entity. And once I was able to pull myself out of it a little bit, and I still run it and I'm still here, like I'm recording it from the shop right now, and I'm still designing flowers a ton in the summer. But no one at the end of my days is going to be like, wow, Sweetwater, Kaylin, like you impacted the world. Like you did. I'm just like, hey, if Sweetwater can be built into something that allows me to have the impact I want to on others, like speaking to women, inspiring women to actually really like their lives, spend more time with people, build life out of moments, bloom, like that stuff is worth a legacy to me. I'm not out here trying to build a Fortune 500 company. Like I'm here just trying to make an honest living and be really proud of the work we do. So pulling my self worth out of that was kind of like an ego death. Like who am I if
Right,
I'm not
right.
just like this flower company, like shooting to the moon? But I feel like it's not just me, it's like a family, like Sweetwater, the team, and all the personalities that make it up, and all our clients that trust us. It's so much more than me. And so when you can take yourself out of that, it's really healthy to do that.
what a powerful perspective. It really is,
Thank
because you're
you.
right. Ego and all of that can really impact your how you view your business and the impact on your life. And I think too, what you've done for the community. I mean, it was a community of 500 people, and you've got a retail shop that's bringing people in, bringing lots of weddings in that are, people traveling. And I bet a lot of businesses have popped up because of your presence in that
Yeah, it's been
adorable street. I love your
it's been
community and that adorable
fun.
little
Thank
street.
you. It's been fun to see Walden Lake kind of blossom along with us. Yeah, I feel like it's always gonna be it's again hard to sometimes take ourselves out of it where we're not like, guys, come on, like care as much as we do, or like let's try. Like
Right.
finally at the end of the day, I'm like, we're just gonna keep our heads down and do really great work that we're really proud of. And I firmly believe if you build it, they will come. And Walden Lake has shown us that time and time again, now that we've been here for 4 years.
That's awesome. Okay, so you mentioned you have kind of this motto, live by bloom,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
building life out of moments. What does that look like in real life versus the Instagram reel, highlight reel that we are so
Yes.
accustomed to seeing in everybody, in today's world?
I feel like bloom, like when you have fully encompassed bloom, you don't even have a desire to share it on social media because it is
Mm.
not a highlight reel, it's your livings. Like I was just fortunate enough. I took my kids to Florida last week and we spent 6 days there. We had the best time. It's like our family trip we go on every year. My parents live in Florida in the winter. So we're blessed to have a place to go. I just have no desire to be on my phone while I'm doing that with my kids. And I take a few pictures, 99.9% of the magical moments, I'm just kind of like soaking it up. I'm like, this is what matters. Us going to Florida in January as a family is why we work so hard and built Sweetwater and why I travel so I can do this. It's not, I get to travel. I'm like, I'm out here sitting on an airplane going somewhere so that my kids and I can go ski on Sundays and I can get them ready for that. And we can cook together and be in the garden together in the summer. So when someone has like bloomed into their existence or like is really living by bloom, I feel like it doesn't feel like a highlight reel. It feels like your everyday.
So it's very authentic. It's very,
Very.
back to your word, rooted,
It's
grounded.
very rooted, it's very authentic, and also it feels not effortless. This is a common misconception because, like anything, if it's important to you, you have to make time for it. And saying yes to one thing is saying no to a million others, and vice versa. So if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. And I feel that same way about our family time and Bloom. Like, why do I want hobbies? Why do I want to spend time with my girlfriends? Because time is really all we have. We do not
Uh,
need more things and we don't need bigger houses and nicer cars. And those are just, I think, dopamine hits to make us feel
sure.
more successful or like we've really earned it and made it. You got to be really comfortable with the people you're spending all this time with and how you're spending that time. And that to me is Bloom.
I love that. Like you said, dopamine hits. The problem is our social media gives us that dopamine
Oh,
hit.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
It's a drug.
it's a drug. And that's why a lot of times we post what we post. And so I
Mm-hmm.
love how you are being so intentional about this is our time as a family or the moments. Like these are just little moments, whether it's just,
Yeah,
cooking dinner together or planting a few seeds in the yard.
for
And it
sure.
doesn't all have to be on social media, which is hard when you're out there building a personal brand.
It's so hard. And people will say to me all the time, like, oh my gosh, I just feel like I know you, or like I know, and I'm really grateful for that. But like what I share is such a small amount of a much bigger and richer life. I share, and I hope we all share if you choose to, in order to build yourself that fulfilling, rich, juicy, bloom filled life, not vice versa. I hope you aren't doing things with your kids so that you can share it or that you're taking a photo so that you can share it. So yeah, it's a catch 22, right? Because social media is essential for business owners. There's no
Right.
way around it anymore. it is part of your job description to be on social media, but I just look at it more as like part of my job. Spend my posts for the day. I've been really into bricking my phone so I can't use my social media all day on my phone. And then I go about my life because what's in the screen is not real. That's not real. But it is a cheap, quick dopamine hit
It
that when you're going
is.
through a hard time, it feels good.
It does. So, one thing that I've heard you say is that you said when you released your white knuckle grip on control, that was the secret to your growth. And that is really hard for entrepreneurs because these businesses are our babies. And, mentally we're like, nobody else can do it as good as I can. And this is going to
Mhm,
be the way we want to do it. And this, a lot of times we even have a hard time delegating. I'll just do it myself. It's easier than
mhm.
trying to train somebody. So what do you mean by that? Was there something that came up for you that all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I cannot keep white knuckling this.
Yeah, my daughter was born early and was eventually on life support, and we spent 3.5 months, 3 months in Grand Rapids. She was at Helen DeVos. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
we were there during my busiest and biggest wedding season ever to date, 3.5 hours away from home. And it was kind of in that moment where I was like, if the business will survive this, I cannot be involved. Like, I am not in a
Uh,
right state of mind to manage this business right now or design flowers. I'm obviously not leaving my child's bedside. And so I very quickly kind of pivoted once the dust had settled to restructuring the entire company so that if I can't be there one day, it still goes. And I don't need to breathe down people's throats. I don't need to ask them what they accomplished every day. I've always been really into done is better than perfect.
mm,
And
love
that is
that.
a huge secret to my success because I feel like perfectionism is looking for something that's wrong. And when you are constantly trying to make something perfect, my website has to be perfect before I put it out there. Um, my social media post has to be perfect before I post it. You're just honestly, you're losing money. Like if we're going to talk business sense, like, but the perfectionism really holds us back and feels like, well, I can't do it yet because it's not perfect. When really I feel like I can't do it yet because I'm nervous. Like
Right.
I feel
It's an
very
excuse.
vulnerable.
It can be an
Yes, I feel
excuse.
really
Yeah.
scared. And
Mm-hmm.
so I've always been one for like anyone who comes and works here, the team kind of jokes sometimes that I'm like too type B because I'm like, no, I trust you. Like, you'll figure it out. Because when one of us wins, we all win. When the company does well, we all do well. So I fully trust these people to work their hardest for all of us to win. And I do everything in my power to empower them to do so, but I do not check their work or breathe down their throat or speak to them unkindly. And a lot of business owners that I see who are really stagnant or struggling to grow and they have a team and growth is their goal, they are the ones holding themselves back. It's their white knuckle grip of control on things that will really stall or plateau things in your progress.
Absolutely. And that comes down to trust.
Mhm.
You were forced, first of all, I'm sorry you
Yeah.
had to go through that with your daughter
Oh,
and,
that's
and
okay.
she's
Thank you.
perfectly
She's
healthy
great.
today. Yes.
Yes, she's wonderful. Yes.
Which is all that matters. But you had to trust others to just step in. I mean, not
Mhm.
only in your business, but at your home too, because you had other children
Mhm.
as well at the time, right? So
Mhm.
that really, what a pivotal moment for you, and look what it's done for you as a business. So take us through you have a podcast called Lucky Girls Don't Quit. Where did that come from? Love the name.
Yes, Lucky Girls. So my community is called the Lucky Girls. That's what I call us. I came up with Lucky Girls Don't Quit. The origin story is hazy for people because it was during the summer and I cannot be held accountable for anything I come up with in the summer because it's so busy. But I was just like lucky girl energy, lucky girl manifestation. And I was like, but also like lucky girls don't quit because, excuse me, I don't really believe in like, oh, I'm just lucky. So all this stuff happened to me. I believe it's like I have a really positive mindset, but I'm also going to go after it. I'm going to really put myself out there. I'm not going to quit. A million people are going to tell me no. I'm going to lose out on a bunch of deals. And the Lucky Girls Don't Quit is kind of that mantra, that belief system. And so we have a podcast. We have the Lucky Girls Book Club, which is our virtual book club. that people can come on to a live discussion and be a part of. It's just like a free community event we host every month. We have like swag that comes out, and then I speak and teach around the country to all the lucky girls and like to be out there and inspire women to just, yeah, like build something that feels really good for them.
I love Lucky Girl because I do believe we create our own luck. I think you're
We
right.
do.
You can't just sit here and say, oh, I hope I get lucky and it's going to grow. I
Yes.
mean, you are proof that you created your own luck. You are such an inspiration. I've seen you speak before. You're fun and you're
Thank
real.
you.
You keep it real. For somebody who's building a personal brand online, it's refreshing because a
Thank
lot
you.
of times we see the curated and the pretty and the perfect side
Yes.
of, personal brands online. And so
Yeah.
I just really love your message and how you're helping women and entrepreneurs and women in general just keep trying to be their best. So thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you.
your little tidbits of wisdom. And I will put the links to Lucky Girls Don't Quit podcast and your book club. What are you guys reading?
Right now we're reading an Emily Henry book, Great Big Beautiful Life.
Oh
Next month
yeah.
we are reading Kate Strickler, I Just Wish I Had a Bigger Kitchen. So we're doing nonfiction next month. We switch it up.
Okay.
We switch up our genres. We switch up our vibe. But yes, if you follow along on Instagram, there's always a book club update on there. It's at Kalin Sheick or at Sweetwater Floral if you want to be with the flower shop. And thank you for having me, Jennifer. I think what the work you're doing is so important too. Like, I've seen you speak, and you are a rock solid business coach and mentor to so many. So I hope you know that like that is very, very powerful, and you should be very proud of yourself.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So, yes,
Anytime.
I will see you soon and let's keep in touch. I'm a big fan. I'm a super fan of Lucky Girls Don't Quit. And I will put all the links in the show notes so that others can get in touch with you, Kaylin. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jennifer.
Thank you. Here's what I really want us to take away from this conversation is Kaylin didn't grow by doing more. She did it by trusting, by building a business that didn't need her white knuckling every single decision. And if you're honest, that white knuckle grip might feel a little familiar. It's pretty common for entrepreneurs. Doing everything yourself, carrying every decision, feeling like if you let go, it's all just going to fall apart. But real growth, healthy growth comes from lack of control, from systems, from leadership, and knowing what exactly to focus on and what moves the needle. That's exactly why I created the Earn More, Stress Less 9-pillar system. It's a framework I use for business owners, service-based, who want to make real money, but do so without burning out, don't want to depend on them for doing everything, and give you the options to breathe, to have that space and freedom you so desire. The 9 pillars help you create a strong business. We look at all the areas and we focus on what is the next win in your business. You don't have to hustle harder. You don't have to hold everything together by force. And you definitely do not have to keep white knuckling. If you're interested in learning more, reach out and I will share with you and we'll see if it's a good fit. And I'm honored to walk alongside you to help you grow your business in double-digit growth. Until next time, I want to thank Kaylin for being a guest. I hope this message resonated with you. Please share it with a business bestie that you know, and please leave a 5-star review. Until next time, keep building.